Alright, it's Tuesday, which means we are doing another lesson. We're using our grammar workbooks. Today we're in level 2 and we are going to do another irregular verb. So we have been doing irregular verb conjugations for the past few weeks, and there's another one that is very useful to know, which is called the irregular. So we've done the beep, the digit, the lil, the and now we're looking at the irregular. So it might not click yet, but you've probably seen some verbs that are this type of irregular verb. Namely, the one people probably know is this verb 몰라. 몰라 or 몰라요. If you've watched Korean dramas, you've probably heard someone say this. That means I don't know. 몰라, 몰라요. That means you don't know something. But did you know that the base form of this verb is 모르다? This is the base form. So how does 모르다 become 몰라요? This is the irregular. And this is not the only verb like this. There are quite a few verbs that follow this pattern. So that's what we're going to practice today. Okay, so before we do these conjugations, let's first do the multiple choice. Select the correct answer to the following multiple choice questions. When attaching a grammar form that starts with a consonant sound, for example, 는 것, 지않다, we learnt those in level 1, etc., to a irregular verb, the irregular transformation does not take place. Is that 1 true or 2 false? Now this is kind of a general question to do with irregular verbs. It's not specific to the irregular, but it's one of those general knowledge things you should know about irregular verbs in Korean. If you're adding a consonant sound, a grammar conjugation starting with a consonant, the irregular transformation does not take place. This is true. This is true in other verbs as well, other irregular verbs. It does not happen when you're starting things starting with 는 것, other 지않다, other things starting with consonant sounds. B. When conjugating a irregular verb into the present tense, 아어요, the first step is to 1. See if the verb stem ends in a vowel or a consonant. 2. Attach ayo if the verb stem ends in a or o, and oyo if it ends in any other vowel. Or 3. Drop leaving behind lil. So if you're not familiar with the textbook lesson, if you have not seen the textbook, you probably don't know the answer to this. The answer here is number 3. The first thing you do is drop So let's take an example verb and see how this works. So if we start with 모르다, this is the verb meaning to not know something. That means it becomes more like this. We're going to start with this. This is sort of an intermediate conjugation. This is not a final form. This is what we have now. C. The second step is to 1. Add a lil to the end of the verb stem. Add number 2. Add a lil to the bottom of the previous syllable. Or 3. Attach ayo if the verb stem ends in a or o, and oyo if it ends in any other vowel. So now what you do, the second step, is to add a lil to the bottom of the previous syllable. So you're going to have these 2 lils here. All right? Next, the step here is to 1. Attach heyo. 2. Attach ayo, oyo, depending on the final vowel of the last syllable, this one. Or attach a, oyo, depending on the final vowel of the second to last syllable, this one. So what you have to do here is you attach ayo, oyo, depending on the final vowel of this thing. You got to look here and see, oh, we have o, right? So this is why we add ayo at the end. And we get 몰라요. So we're going to see some more examples, more verbs, but that is how 모르다 becomes 몰라요. Those 3 steps. So, E. When conjugating the verb 모르다 into the present tense, it becomes 1. 모르요, 2. 몰라요, 3. 몰아요, or 4. 몰라요. What does 모르다 become in the present tense? Yes, good job everybody. 2, correct. 몰라요. I just gave it away here. But what about this one? See if you can figure out this one. When conjugating the verb 부르다, which means to call or call out, into the present tense, it becomes 1. 부르요, 2. 불어요, 3. 불러요, or 4. 불러요. So what is this verb, 부르다, to call out, become in the present tense? Have a think about it. What do you think? Following the sort of similar process we had earlier, what does this verb become? BTS, good job. So the allele becomes the pachim, yes. You end up adding allele to this one behind it. Allele goes behind here. So the correct answer here is 4. It's 4 because we have this allele behind, right? The reason that it's not this one, the reason this one is wrong, is because you have to look at the second to last vowel sound. See, we have an oo sound. And when we know that when we have oo, we attach oyo, right? But in this one, the last vowel sound we had was o, and that's when you add ayo. So be careful about that. We end up with 불러요 as the present tense. That means I call, he calls, she calls. So let's now go back and do some more practice with individual verbs, conjugating them into the present tense. This first one, 모르다, means to not know. We know this is 몰라요. I don't know. This is a very good word to know if you're learning Korean, especially if you're learning any language, how to say that you don't know something. 몰라요 is a very good thing to learn. And here it is right here. That means I don't know. I don't know something. B, 다르다. 다르다 means to be different, or various or varied. Which level is this? This is the level 2 workbook today. Oh, good job everybody. Great conjugating. Yes, this is 달라요. Right, we have this R sound here, so it becomes 달라요. C, this verb 고르다. 고르다 means to choose or pick something. Where can I get that book? It is on Amazon, it is on our TikTok shop, it is on our website as well. So this is 골라요. This is pretty similar to 모르다, right? We have this final O sound, O, so it becomes 라요. 골라요 means I choose something. Next we have this one. This is 빠르다. You can probably guess what this means from the picture. This means to be fast. 빠르다. This becomes 빨라요. 빨라요. Does this book come in PDF form? Yes, it does. Question, why are adjectives and verbs conjugated the same? So, fun fact in Korean, adjectives don't really exist. They do kind of exist. In Korean, adjectives are called 형용사, but they are different from English adjectives, and both adjectives and verbs in Korean are very commonly conjugated the same. They're treated the same. They're kind of all verbs In Korean, you just have nouns and verbs, whereas in English, you think of having nouns, verbs, and adjectives. In Korean, it's really just nouns and verbs. And within those verbs, there are 동사, which is active verbs, and 형용사, which are passive verbs. But within Korean, they're kind of all the same. It's one of those weird things, language things. They're not really that different. Okay. E. 목이 마르다. 목이 마르다. Yeah, sure, no worries. I don't know if that makes it easier to understand or harder, but there you go. 목이 마르다, you can probably also guess from context what this means. This is to be thirsty. Thirsty, and this becomes 목이 말라요. 목이 말라요. That means I'm thirsty. If you're thirsty, you can say 목이 말라요. I am thirsty. Now we have 오르다. This is a pretty common one as well. 오르다 means to go up something or up somewhere, and that becomes 올라요. 올라요. Is that literally neck, throat, thirst? Yeah. 목 is throat, and I think 마르다 is literally like to be dry, parched, thirsty. So it's literally my throat is parched, my throat is thirsty, my throat is dry. Yeah. All right. Oops. Now we have G. We're going to do this in the past tense. The past tense, how would we do that? We learned about the past tense in level 1, and all that does, we know that this is 몰라요, right? We just take off the 요, we add a double sheet here, 몰랐, and then add 어요 at the end. Beautiful, good job. 몰랐어요 means I didn't know something. H, 고르다. All right, we had 고르다 earlier. It was 골라요, right? So this just becomes, take off the 요, add 골랐어요. That means I chose something. I picked something. 골랐어요. And lucky last, how do you say I went up somewhere? Why not 몰랐어요? So the past tense always is 어요 at the end. This before the sheet, that's where it's a or 어, but this part is always 어요. This part is always 어요. Oh, future tense? My bad. This is future tense. You did an extra exercise of just past tense. Let's do the future tense. How would that become the future tense? Now be careful of this, because this might trip you up. 걸을 예요. 걸을 거예요. This is tricky. So this irregular happens when it's a or 어 that you're conjugating with. If you're starting a conjugation with a or 어, that's when this happens. But the future tense starts with It's not a or 어, it's 거예요. So this one just tucks neatly underneath and it doesn't activate the irregular. So let's have a go with this one, another practice. How would 오를 거예요 become future tense? How would you say I will go up somewhere? What does this become? And sorry, this is kind of messy. You probably can't read it very well, but have a go what you think that would be. This verb 오르다, meaning to go up, in the future tense. Yes, good job. Good job, everybody. This is 오를 거예요. 오를 거예요. I will go up. Which book is this? This is the level 2 workbook. This is what the cover looks like. You can find it linked in this live stream. It's also on Amazon and on our website. It is also available in PDF if you would like a PDF. Yeah, sure, no worries. Okay, so we looked at some conjugation rules. Now let's look at them in sentences. Let's make some sentences that use the irregular. First off, we're going to go from Korean into English. Just finished level 1 and waiting for level 2 to arrive. Amazing. Hooray. Hope it gets there soon. I hope you like it. So, number 1, given the Korean sentences, write an equivalent English expression. We have 이 사람을 몰라요. 이 사람을 몰라요. I don't know this person. Yes, use it. Jenny, perfect. I don't know this person. I don't know this person. 이 사람 is this person, and then 몰라요 is an action verb meaning to not know someone or something. So I don't know this person. B. 매일 메뉴가 달라요. 매일 메뉴가 달라요. 매일 has been defined here. It means every day. Every day. Valeria, yes, beautiful. Menu means menu. And 다르다, right, comes from this verb. 다르다 means to be different. So this means that the menu is different every day. Putting it back in order from Korean, yeah. A funny trick. Oftentimes it's easier to read back to front to put it in English. Not always, but very often. So every day the menu is different. Or you could say the menu is different every day, or there's a different menu every day. Any of those sentences are good. C. 그 영화를 골랐어요. So this is from the verb 고르다. 고르다 means to choose something. To choose something. I chose that movie. I picked that movie. Jenny, use it. Yes, beautiful. What book is this? This is the level 2 workbook. BTS, yes. All right. I think someone was asking about this particle, which is a good question. So let me just quickly answer that. So the question I think was, why is this the subject particle? And why is the other ones the object particle, right? So it's a pretty simple answer. The answer really is that it depends on the verb. If you have an action verb, you use the object particle. So not know is an action verb, choose is an action verb, this one to go up is an action verb. But these ones are descriptive verbs. To be different is a description, to be fast is a description. So then you use the subject particle. Okay. So 걸음이 빨라요. 걸음 is walking. It is the noun walking. 걸음, walking is 빠르다. It's 빨라요. It is fast. So walking, I guess it depends how you walk, but there you go. Walking is fast, or it depends where you are. Some places walking is not fast, but sometimes it can be. Walking is fast. 걸음이 빨라요. And again, 빠르다, to be fast, is a descriptive verb, so you use the subject particle. All right. E. 제임스는 사다리를 올라갔어요. 사다리 is ladder. Ladder in Korean. So James, the ladder, he 올라갔어요. He goes up. Now see how this 올라갔어요 thing is a combination of 오르다 with go. Just like how we say in English, I go up the ladder. You have both parts, up and go. But it's just backwards. It's up, go, instead of go up in Korean. James is going up the ladder. Yeah, it's the past tense. So James went up the ladder. Okay. Number 4. Now we're going to, given the English sentences, write an equivalent Korean expression using the irregular. So number 1A is, I don't know that drama. I don't know that drama. So that drama is 그 드라마. 그 means that. So that drama, and remember that the verb always goes at the end, right? Subject, object, verb in Korean. So 그 드라마 particle 몰라요. What particle do we need? Well, 모르다 is an action verb, so we need the object particle. 그 드라마를 몰라요. I don't know that drama. What's the difference between 그 and 여기? 그 means that. 여기 means here. All right. B. Our personalities are different. Our personalities are different. So we have 성격 here provided as vocab. 성격 means personality. Our personalities is 우리 성격. Particle, right? And then 달라요. 달라요 means to be different. What particle do we need here? Well, 다르다, to be different, is a description, right? It's a descriptive verb, so we need the subject particle. 우리 성격이 달라요. Our personalities are different. C. My dog is fast. My dog is fast. Now, this word my here is a little bit tricky because there are two ways you can say that in Korean. You can say 우리 개, or like our dog, or you can say 제 개, our dog, my dog. Question, are there live classes every day? No, just Mondays and Tuesdays. So you can say 우리 or 제. I'm going to use 우리 because I'm going to assume that the dog is a family dog. 우리 개 or 우리 강아지. Which one do I want to use? I'm going to use 강아지. They both mean dog, but 강아지 is a little bit cuter than 개, but they're both correct. They're both correct. 우리 강아지 particle fast. Fast comes from the verb 빠르다, which is 빨라요. And what particle do we need? Well, 빠르다 is a descriptive verb, so we need the subject particle. 제 개가 빨라요. 우리 개가 빨라요. 우리 강아지가 빨라요. There's a couple different ways to say this. They're all provided in the answers. So very often in this book, in the answer section, we will give you multiple answers that are all correct. Can you also use 나의? Yes, you can. Absolutely can. How do I say I went from school to the cafe to the movies? Because there was only 2 places in the example. So we talk about this a little bit in the textbook, actually. So if you want to learn about this, I recommend checking the chapter in the textbook. So yeah, I would refer to that. Basically, you'd probably connect the sentences with a different particle in the middle. You could say like 학교에 가고, and then like, what did you say? School to the cafe, 카페에 가고, and then 다음에 영화관에 갔어요, for example. There's other ways to connect places with and. I went to this place and that place and that place. Or you could like connect things with the and particle, so 학교랑, 카페랑, you know, or whatever, things like that as well. So there's other ways to do it. It's in the textbook and it links to some other grammar forms. Okay, D. I am thirsty. I am thirsty. Oh, and also, I'm not sure if you were the one yesterday that asked about whether you could have 에서 and 에 in the same sentence, like 학교에서 집에 가요, whether you could say that in Korean, and yes, you can. I checked that and it is fine. I think that might have been you. So I just wanted to let you know I did check that and it is fine. And there's no difference in meaning. They mean the same thing. Okay. Anyway, back to D, I am thirsty. So you can talk about yourself by saying 저는, this is optional. And then to be thirsty is 목이 말라요. I am thirsty. Yeah, if it's something that's not just yours, give preference to 우리. Exactly. So if it's a family thing, it's a family dog, you can maybe use 우리. If it really is just only your dog and nobody else's, you can use 제. It's okay. E, I choose my friends. How would you say that? I choose my friends. So the verb to choose is 고르다. 고르다. And if you're going to put this in present tense, it becomes 골라요. And 친구 is friend. So friend particle 골라요. Now, which particle do we need here, right? You have to look at the verb. This 고르다 verb, 골라요, is an action verb, so you need the object particle. 제 친구. Now, you can also add a 제 here if you like to say my friends. 제 친구를 골라요. 제가 제 친구를 골라요. Yes, that's also good. I choose my friends. 제가 or 저는. Also more optional pronouns here. All right. Number 5. Here we're going to add in a grammar form to make some more complicated sentences. We're going to be adding this grammar form man. This is from level 1 and it means only. So if you attach man to a noun, it means only that noun. Let's have a go with this first sentence. I only don't know this word. So you're saying this word is the only one I don't know. And this word has been provided, well actually word has been provided, word is 단어, 단어. So 이 단어 is this word. Now if you want to say only this word, then you say 이 단어만. Only this word, only this word. I don't know it, 몰라요. 이 단어만, 몰라요. I only don't know this word. B, I only choose this book. I only choose this book. So 이 책, that's this book. 책 is book. And to say only this book, you can add man to the end. It's very simple. 이 책만. I only choose. This is our verb 골라요, which comes from the base verb 고르다. 이 책만 골라요. I only choose this book. And there is always, as optional chonins here. If you like, optional. C, only I am thirsty. So of all the people around me, I am the only one who is thirsty. How would you say that in Korean? Well, I in Korean is 저, right? So you can say 저만 to say only me. 저만 목이 말라요. Only I am thirsty. 저만 배가 고파요. Only I am hungry. All right, D. Only this kimchi tastes different. This one's maybe a little trickier, but we have all the pieces to write this sentence. We're given the noun 맛. 맛 means flavor or taste. So we're saying only this kimchi tastes different. Only this kimchi is 이 kimchi. And then we have our man, right? Only this kimchi tastes different. How do we say tastes different? Well, this is a description of a taste, right? The taste is different. So we have 맛 and 달라요. And which particle do we need here? Well, 달라요. 다르다 is a descriptive verb, so we need the subject particle. All right. Yeah, beautiful. Good job. 이 김치만 맛이 달라요. Only this kimchi tastes different. Good, awesome. So let's do, there's two more things we're going to combine the irregular with. This first one here is the past tense. So let's do some more practice of using the irregular in the past tense. The first one is I didn't know that person. So didn't now is in the past tense. That person is 그 사람. That person I didn't know is 몰랐어요. 몰랐어요. I didn't know that person, and the particle here is the object particle, right? Because 모르다 is an active action verb. 그 사람을 몰랐어요. I didn't know that person. B, I chose this movie. Chose is now in the past tense. This is the verb 고르다, to choose. We're going to put this in the past tense. So first we have an I. I'm going to put a, you can put a 전 in here optionally. 저는 이 영화, which is this movie, particle 골랐어요. Which particle do we need? 골랐어요. 고르다 is an active verb, it's an action verb, so we use the object particle. 이 영화를 골랐어요. Beautiful. Good job, Kali, DK's girl. Yes, BTS, beautiful. C, the menu was different today. The menu was different today. We'll start with our time word, 오늘, and you could put 오늘은 as the topic if you like. As for today, 오늘은, the menu was different. We had menu on the previous page. It is actually a English word, a Konglish word, menu, with a new here. Particle, 달랐어요. Which particle do we need here? 다르다, to be different, right, as a description. So we use the subject particle. 오늘은 메뉴가 달랐어요. The menu was different today. And lucky last, the cat was fast. I have two little kittens in my house that I recently adopted, and they are both super, super fast. So how do you say the cat was fast? Well, first of all, how do you say cat in Korean? Cat is 고양이. And you could put a 그 here in front. Sometimes the is translated to 그, but it's not really necessary. You can just say 고양이 as well. 고양이 particle, now fast, is this verb 빠르다, which becomes 빨라요. Oh, past tense, 빨랐어요. And to be fast is a description, so we add the subject particle. 고양이가 빨랐어요. The cat was fast. All right, perfect. Good job. Now number 7. We're going to combine the irregular with the 에서 particle. Now the 에서 particle was also covered in level 1. You use 에서 to talk about doing an action in a place. That is what 에서 is being used for in this exercise. It's not the only way 에서 is used. I think, funnily enough, just yesterday we were talking about 에서 meaning from. But in this exercise, we're using the doing an action in a place meaning of 에서. It's so difficult texting on the Korean keyboard. It is. I've had to get used to typing in Korean on my computer a lot, which was a lot to get used to as well. I'm much better at it now, now that I've been working and doing it for several years. But It is. It takes some getting used to. So number A, or letter A, I sing songs at their norebang. What is a norebang? A norebang is a kind of a Korean cultural thing. It's really popular, really common in Korea. It's basically like karaoke, but it's the Korean version of karaoke. There are rooms you can go, you can order food, you can order drinks, and you can sing songs. And that is a norebang. Literally, norebang means singing room. Nore is song or singing, and bang means room. So it's the sing room or karaoke. What book is that? I can't find it. This is the level 2 workbook. All right. So I sing songs at the norebang. You can start with an optional chonin. Now the norebang has been provided. We'll put that first. Norebang. Now this is the location at which you're doing some action, right? You're singing songs there. So this is the place that the 에서 particle goes to show that in the norebang is the location that you are doing the action of singing. 노래방에서. Now here we've been provided with the vocabulary 노래를 부르다, to sing songs. I see people in the comments using 노래하다. This is also fine. It also means to do singing, but we are specifically asking you to use the 부르다 verb because it is the irregular. So we're going to be using this one. 노래를 부르다 becomes 불러요. 불러요. 저는 노래방에서 노래를 불러요. I sing songs in the 노래방. How can I improve my pronunciation? Honestly, it takes time. One of the best things you can do is try to copy people. You can find YouTube videos of people talking, even if they're like teaching something simple, and try to copy yourself what they're saying. You can even, if you're brave, you can even record yourself speaking it and then play it side by side. And then that will be a good way to improve your speaking. And honestly, just as much as you can speaking out loud, even if you're talking to yourself, even if you have nobody around, you can talk out loud to yourself. You can talk to yourself in Korean in the shower. You can talk to yourself in Korean when you're getting up in the morning. You can speak out loud anytime. That's also a good way to improve. My pronunciation is not perfect, but it has gotten better the longer that I have been learning Korean. And the more I've been talking on these live streams and the more I do all of those things. Did I just get started? I've been going for about 30 minutes. I want to try the Goose Apple podcasts. Are they fast? Wait, do we have podcasts? I didn't know we had podcasts. If you're talking about the Korean through podcasts book, that is for intermediate or advanced learners. And they are native speakers that speak relatively fast in Korean. Are there any past pages you want to screenshot? Yeah, I can show you this one. This is the first page we did. You can screenshot that. I'm going to change that in a few seconds. This is the next one. Yeah, the Korean through podcast one is recommended for sort of higher level learners. You're welcome to challenge yourself. If you really want to try learning with podcasts, you can give it a go. I would check the example pages and see if it's something that you think you'd enjoy, see if it's something that you think you would, learn a lot from before you buy it. Do you know any podcasts for Korean beginners when they speak Korean slowly? I know Talk to Me in Korean does a beginner podcast series where they speak quite slowly, so I would try that. I think it's called the Iyagi series. The Talk to Me in Korean Iyagi series is really good. So I would look there. All right. Question, when to use un or le. So all of these sentences potentially could use the topic particle, but in order to use the topic particle, usually there has to be some context around it. Has to be some sort of reason why you're using the topic particle. There's got to be some sort of contrast or some other part of the conversation going on. So it is possible, but it might mean or imply something slightly differently. Okay. B. I climb rock walls in the mountains. So we have the word here, 산, meaning mountains. And we have 암벽을 올라가다 to mean to go up. 암벽 is these rock walls or cliff faces. And 올라가다 means to go up, to go up. So I climb rock walls in the mountains. So the first we're starting with the place, which is the mountains, right? The 산. And we're doing it in the mountains, right? That's the location at which we're doing some action. So 에서, 산에서, in the mountains. 암벽을 올라가요. I think this is just present tense. I climb rock walls in the mountains. Yeah, 올라가요. So I see people in the comments writing 올라요, just up. So that's kind of similar in English. Imagine if you said, in the mountains, I up rock walls, right? It sounds strange, right? What do you mean you go? You mean you go up mountains, right? You're missing that go part. So if you leave off the kayo, that's kind of what it sounds like. In the mountains, I up rock walls. So it sounds strange. To make it sound better, you add this kayo thing to mean you go up the mountain, the rock walls. 올라가요. All right, this is just a combination of 오르다 with 가다, and it means to go up something. 올라요 by itself, it just means kind of up, upwards. All right. C. I choose a book at the library. I choose a book at the library. So here the location is the library. So the 도서관. 도서관 is a library. And this is the location where we're doing something. So this is where we put our 에서 particle. 도서관에서 means in the library. I choose a book. We have book next, which is check, particle, and then to choose is 골라요. Which particle do we use? 고르다 is an action verb, so we use the object particle 책을 골라요. 도서관에서 책을 골라요. I choose a book in the library. D. I chose, this is a past tense, be careful, I chose a coffee at the cafe. So the location here is the cafe. 카페. 카페 is cafe in Korean. And it's the location at which we're doing something. We are choosing a coffee there, right? So we're doing some action in this place. So we need the 에서 particle. 카페에서. Now, coffee in Korean is 커피. 커피 is coffee. Notice how this F sound in Korean has been romanized to a P sound. This is very normal. Korean does not have an F sound, so it's usually changed to a P sound. 카페에서 커피를 골랐어요. That's the past tense form of 골라요. 골라요 becomes 골랐어요 in the past tense. And lucky last, I was thirsty at the gym. I was thirsty at the gym. Gym in Korean is 헬스장. You can also use 운동장. 운동장 also means gym, but 헬스장 is kind of more of a Western style gym. 운동장 is more of a Korean style gym. So it just depends what place you're going to. 헬스장에서, in the gym. 헬스장에서. I come to think of it, Korean is actually kind of easy. It kind of is sometimes. Sometimes when you look at it, you're like, oh, this makes total sense. This is very simple. And those moments are really fun, right? Because you're like, oh, this is not actually so hard. It's just kind of like putting all the puzzle pieces together. All right, 헬스장에서, in the gym, I was thirsty. We know that to be thirsty is 목이 말라요. So in the past tense, it's 목이 말랐어요. 목이 말랐어요. I was thirsty in the gym, but those moments are very rare. Sadly, that can be the case sometimes. Is throat 목 or 목이? Throat is 목. 목 is the throat. The E here is actually the subject particle. All right. So that brings us to the end of this chapter. We do have a final dictation exercise. I won't do it in this live stream, but if you do get the book, make sure you do these dictation exercises. They're really good practice for your listening skills. Question, what's the easiest workbook we have? The easiest workbook we have is the level 1 workbook. This is level 2 right now. You can see level 2. Level 1 is going to be the easiest one that we have. So I would start with this. All right. 얼마 공부하신 거예요? How long will I study Korean? I will study Korean a very long time. Hopefully my life. To be a lifelong journey. How long have I studied Korean in general? I have studied Korean for about, I think, 8 years. 8 years I've been learning Korean. Thank you. Thank you very much. These are books indeed. Am I planning on learning another language in the future? It's a good question. Possibly. I still feel like I'm still so immersed in Korean, it's hard to imagine learning something else. But possibly, I love languages, so maybe one day I will. I don't know which one I would choose. But yeah, maybe one day. Do I only know English and Korean? Yes, unfortunately. I know a tiny bit of Dutch because I lived in Belgium for a little while, but I fear I've forgotten basically all of it. But I was learning some Dutch for a while. Sadly, in Belgium, there was not many chances to practice my Dutch because everyone just wanted to speak English, which, fair enough, English is just sometimes easier. But yeah. Anyway, this is the lesson. I used to think koyangi was koyang with the subject particle. Easy mistake, I can imagine. Sarah, I know 8 languages. That's my hobby since childhood. Wow, you're amazing. Incredible. Amazing. You're a polyglot. It's a major achievement. Congratulations. Any workbooks for Hindi? No, unfortunately. Just Korean. If I spoke Hindi, I would love to make one, but sadly, I do not. So in this lesson, we talked about the irregular. This is the irregular verbs that change from things like 모르다 to 몰라요. And there are many irregular verbs of which we practiced quite a bit in this live stream. Next week, if you want to come back next Tuesday, we'll be doing the last irregular verb that we talk about in level 2, which is the sheet irregular. So this is the last one that we cover in level 2. The heat irregular is covered in level 3. But in any case, this is the last one we talk about in level 2. So if you want to do that, be sure to come back next week. Same time, 5 p.m. Eastern time for that one. Any advice on where to start for grammar and vocab? I just finished the alphabet. If you've just finished the alphabet, I think the place I would recommend for you is to check out our grammar textbook. So this is called Conversational Korean Grammar. There is you can see it's pretty chunky, right? So it's a big boy, but there's a really good starting point here. It takes you really from the beginning in terms of an introduction to the Korean language, a really easy introduction to how grammar works in Korean. We introduce some really simple vocab that you use many times to help you learn it. So I would recommend this book. If you've learnt the alphabet and you're looking to get started with grammar and vocab, I'd recommend this. How much do they cost? So this one is about 300 pages and it's in full color. So this one is $35. It's one of our priciest books. It is available in PDF for $20 though. And then the workbooks, which are designed to go with the textbook, these are, I think, $17 each in paperback and $14 each in PDF, I think, maybe $18 paperback. You got it for $35 Canadian. Yeah, that's a good deal. Is there audio with the book? Yes, there is audio with the textbook, and there are dictation exercises in the workbooks. Question, why is Lil sometimes pronounced as R and sometimes an L? So that's a good question. Lil is kind of both. It's kind of both. And are there questions in the workbooks? Yes. So it's tricky, but essentially what you could learn is that when Lil is starting a word, so like lemon, for example, then it sounds more like an L sound. If it's in the middle of a word, like saram, then it's kind of more like an R sound. It's not an absolute rule, but it's a sort of general guide that if the Leo starts the word, it's kind of like an L. If it's in the middle, it's kind of like an R. Are there grammar explanations in the workbooks? Yes. So if you go into the back of the workbooks, we put in quite a lot of little grammar tips and points to help explain things. You can see a whole bunch of explanation and things where we talk about what's going on. So it's a really good place to go when you're learning. I think it really talks through a lot of common questions people have, problems we anticipate people will have, and we talk about it a lot in the workbooks, in the back, in the answers. So I do recommend that as a good place to go. Anyway, if you're interested in any of these books, they are all available on TikTok Shop. They are in Amazon. They're on our websites. There are PDFs available, so be sure to check those out. All right. What is Lil in the middle and at the end of the same word? Oh, like if it's got both, then how are they pronounced? It's the same rule. If you had a word that had an L at the start and a Lil in the middle, it would be more of an L to the start and more of a Lil in the middle. I'm trying to think of a word that would be, but I'm not sure. Are the workbooks available as a PDF? Yes, they are. Does the workbook go along with the big book? Yes. So there are 5 levels in the textbook. Each level has a workbook. So they're designed to go together. There are some practice activities in the textbook, but you can see they're pretty short, right? There's not a lot of time put into those. You don't spend a lot of time in it. It's mostly just for teaching the foundations. We talk a lot about comparing things. How are these things similar? How are they different? And then for actual more hands-on practice, we do that in the workbooks. What does paperback mean? So these books, if it's made with paper, it's called a paperback book, versus an e-book or an electronic book is a digital file. Are they formal or informal sentences? So we do all of them, but you start with formal language. You start with the yo form, the polite casual form, and then in later levels, starting in level 4, then you start learning panmal and you start learning 씁니다. All right. Yeah. Also, as a note, I will put this recording up on YouTube as always, so if you want to come back, watch it later, or if you missed some parts, you can come back to YouTube and find it there. It is, you can find this at Goose Apple Books. I just bought the textbook. Thank you so much. I hope you like it. 정말 감사합니다. 네, 감사합니다. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for joining here on this Tuesday. Be sure to check us out if you want to learn more, and I'll see you next time. Next time I'll be going live is at 5 p.m. on Monday. So we'll see you then. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful week, wonderful evening, and I'll see you later. Bye. Thank you.